Happening, lads and lassies, and welcome back to the dynamic duo. We have not been here for a while, so please make sure that you say a big, nice welcome thank you to the one and only Danny.
What's going on, folks?
Yes, we have not been
Glad to see
around
you
for
guys
a
back.
yes, we've not been around for a lot of time, but that is what happens when life gets in the road. But we are back. We are finally going to be doing more videos again, and let's just dive into it. This is a bit of a late reaction review, you could say, about Deadpool and Wolverine. So let's just jump straight in, shall we, and have a little bit of blast. So, what did we think about this movie? I'll let my main man, MMA King Crease Jr., go first, because for me, I have maybe mixed opinions, so I might leave myself till last.
Okay. Well, just to me, I enjoyed the movie. I think it was a great movie.
Mm.
Although it does have some problems, it really does have some like major characteristic assassination problems, in my opinion. Like it was a great spectacle, and that's just the thing or whatever. But like, as far as like Deadpool was Adam, would you agree with me? Did you feel like Deadpool wasn't really Deadpool per se? Like, because there was one thing, once again, I liked all of the movie, but as far as Deadpool's character, I felt like Marvel MCU kind of took over Deadpool, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
they made him a fanboy of the Marvel universe, where that is just not Deadpool whatsoever.
Yeah, I can see where you're
It
coming
felt
from,
he
especially
yeah,
when you look at it from this point of view where it comes to in Deadpool 1 and 2, he was so against joining the X-Men, so it doesn't really
yeah,
necessarily make sense that he would then want to join the Avengers and be like, "Oh my god, it's
yeah,
the Avengers!" It's like he's acting like a 12-year-old boy, which I get that is his
yeah,
character, so you can't there's certain parts of his character that still remain intact, but I can see where people would
yeah,
have an issue with that, definitely.
yeah. That's where I was like saying like that was like one of my biggest things like overall. Like once again, I enjoyed the movie. I'm just saying like to say there was no flaws in the movie, that was like one of the biggest ones. I didn't really like that Deadpool was a Marvel fanboy because like, the Deadpool that we knew in the first two movies was just not him. He would not want to join any. He would not want to join the Avengers. The Avengers would want him to join or whatever.
Yeah, no,
That's what I would get. Yeah,
yeah, no, I would agree with you on that standpoint. Like, see, for me, like when it comes to Deadpool, like and Wolverine, one of the things that I feel like a lot of things that get slept on is that this is just as we expected. Marvel being Marvel, another multiverse movie. Is it a better multiverse movie? Yes, I will argue. Yes, it's better than most of the stuff we have gotten over the last I don't know how many years. And apparently, there's a new show coming out as well about some woman called Agatha or some shit. Don't know the fuck it
yeah.
is.
It comes out on my birthday. It comes out on my birthday,
Ah,
unfortunately.
well, I don't pay attention. Is that the person from the Scarlet Witch show? I think.
Yeah, Agatha
Ah,
was right
right.
all
Okay.
along. Yeah,
Yeah. So for me, I don't really care. Like, if you have noticed much more about me these days, I do not give a crap about most Marvel projects, and it's sad, and it's because it's the same rehash crap that we've seen about 600 million times, and it's all multiverse
yeah,
stuff, and I know it's all going to lead up to Secret Wars. It's all planned. It's all great. Kevin Feige's a man. No, not really. The shows have been lacking. This is the first movie that I was saying is passable. Like, it's fun.
yeah. It's
It's got a lot
passable.
of great cameos and things that we will touch upon within
I
this.
enjoyed it.
But the issue is that I don't want the same shit all the time. It's like, kill, it's the big bad from this show that will probably get
And
two people done in like 5 minutes.
the thing is, Deadpool was being so tamed when it came to the MCU.
Mm,
Whereas as like with the MCU, he was hitting it with a water pistol, but when it came to like the other universes, like the Fox universe, they hit it with a 12 gauge shotgun or whatever. And I'm just saying, like, dude, come on now. Like if you were like that was just my thing about the MCU. It's so sensitive about itself, you know.
mm,
once again, like, I don't hate the movie because like what's gonna happen once this video drop? We know a couple of people that gonna like hit us up, like so
See,
you
for me,
know,
it's like I get it.
yeah,
Like it's a great movie for people that
yeah,
like this. But when it comes to like overall movie, if you pay attention to the plot really isn't as good as the first
it's
two.
not good. It's
It's
not
it's
really that good.
basically just like, haha, look, Deadpool and Wolverine team up, and that's great because you know
Yeah,
that it happens in the comic books. But as
yeah,
I've said on the channel before, just because it like portrays well in a comic book doesn't mean it's always going to work in live action. This is a rare case where
yeah,
it sort of works, but if you don't pay attention to the story, sort of thing.
yeah,
Like the story is all right,
exactly.
it's bearable, but like you know,
Hmm.
it's funny at the beginning. You know, you see Deadpool running through all the multiverse universes trying to find a Wolverine, and we get the
Yeah,
best cameo
yeah,
of
that was
all
funny.
time, Henry Cavill,
The
Wolverine. I'm sorry.
cavalry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you don't think that's the best cameo other than the ones that come on later on, you're out of your goddamn mind because that was the best thing I've
That
ever
was
seen.
funny.
It was the funniest thing ever because no one expected it. That's the best part as well. It's like a lot of people didn't go into the movie going, "Oh, Henry Cavill's going to be in this." They were like, "Nah, maybe, but doubt it." And then all of a
Well,
sudden, there he is.
I technically did. I kind of did, like, going in because, like, shout out to my man Neurotic Gary. He was the one that put out the news like first or whatever. Like, go check out Neurotic. He was the one who put it out first that Henry Cavill was going to be in the movie or whatever. So like, I knew Henry Cavill was going into this movie or whatever. I just
Yeah.
didn't tell none of you guys or whatever because y'all didn't want to know any of the spoilers or whatever.
Yeah, well,
But
see, for me,
yeah,
it's like one of these things. It's like I enjoy the movie for what it is. A lot
hmm,
of the cameos are cool. Some of them, like some of the things that you know happen within this movie, it's just dumb fun. If you're into dumb
yeah,
fun, like
this
superhero
is
movies,
for
this is
you.
going to be right up your alley. And a lot of our friends, especially within the Kings of Pop Culture, they're going to love. They love this movie, and they're well within their right. For me, it's one of those movies that I could watch in a party setting. I could watch it on my own, but it's not like it
Yeah,
would be a definitive movie that I will constantly watch. It's not like the first two where I can go back and rewatch
yeah,
them and still have the same sort of blast as I did when I saw it in the cinema. It's one of those ones that you can
yeah,
sit back, relax, watch it with a couple of friends,
hmm,
and just do what you're going to do, sort of thing. And not
yeah,
only that, as well, it's one of these movies, right, where so many people are always talking about, oh, well, you just don't understand cinema. It's one of the biggest masterpieces of all time. Nah,
I wouldn't
it's
go
just
that
a fun
far.
superhero movie. Because let's be real, when something like No Way Home comes out, classic movie, everybody loves it, bar maybe myself, my partner over here, Danny. You know, a few months down the line, everybody's like, "Oh, it's a rehash and it's shite." So people switch up on these things. I'm starting to notice a lot of fan bases are really becoming more and more Star Wars based. It's like there's the fans over here that are like, "This is great. Everything Star Wars does is great," and then you've got, "Oh, this one's shite," and it's like it's becoming a oncoming theme within the fandoms, especially when it comes to
Yeah,
neckbeard fandoms as well. It's like, well, I don't believe this would be happening. It's like, okay, kill story, bro. And
yeah,
this is one of those movies where I can see there's going to be a lot of debate. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to shell for the movie because I've already seen it all over social media. Everybody doing the
yeah.
NSYNC bye bye talk dance and stuff. It's became meme worthy. But that's what I'm saying. It's just because it's meme worthy doesn't mean it's a good movie. Because there's lots of movies that are
Yeah.
funny or good and they're meme worthy, and then there's ones that are just meme worthy because it's just funnily bad. So it's not
Yeah.
necessarily like a really bad movie per se, but for me, I think
Well,
one of the Mhm.
oh, well, I was gonna say this. Like, when I first watched the movie, I even told my friends, and shout out to my guys at the at for the homies podcast or whatever. Like, shout out to those guys where we do podcasts on Thursdays or whatever. But like, when I dropped the news on it, like when I was dropping my review on it, I said like, okay, I love the movie. Once again, I have to keep on iterating. I got to keep on, like, because if you don't keep on saying like you love the movie, then they think you're a hater or whatever. So I'm gonna keep on saying this throughout the. I love the movie. Like, it's a good movie. But if you are looking at it objectively, like, it has a lot of problems because the plot is really, really weak. Like, they expect you to like say like, "Hey guys, Hugh Jackman is here. You remember Hugh Jackman? you remember Ryan Reynolds. You remember like some of the cameos that we're about to talk about too,
Yeah,
coming up or whatever. Like, dude, the plot was like uber weak or whatever. Like, I say it's the weakest one out of the whole entire trilogy. That's pretty sad to me because like as far as Deadpool 2, I don't think Deadpool 2 was really all that great when it came to plot either.
mhm,
But I would put if I was to rank the Deadpool movies, Deadpool number 1, then this number 3, and then this number 2. But I'm just saying, like, plot wise, this is like really the third one or whatever because the plot was not that great.
yeah.
It also messes up the MCU canon once again because they don't pay attention. The anchor being, okay, so by your logic, Kevin Feige, because I like listen, I'm going in on Kevin Feige again. Yes, like I already know, like there is like you're always going in. Well, he deserves it. Like you listen, the anchor being, so that's the equivalent of how can I say it? In the Miles Morales 2 movie of the Kanan effect or whatever. I forgot. Like it makes
Yeah.
no sense, like to me or whatever. Like so, due to the canon event or the anchor being, like if something was to bad happen to this anchor being or this canon verse thing, is it because of the plot letting they do it, or is this just a MacGuffin just because we didn't pay attention to all your shows? Because either way, like it doesn't make any sense. Because
No,
so
exactly.
like for the MCU, who is the anchor being for the MCU in your timeline? Is it Captain America? Was it Iron Man or what? Like you didn't explain that, so now I'm asking questions. Like, so
Well,
go
obviously,
ahead, bro.
I would say you would probably think it's Iron Man, considering he's the only one that technically passed away. Like I know it's implied Steve sort of grew old and was going to pass away. So, but
Hmm.
you'd expect it to be Iron Man in that case. But for me, one of the biggest issues with this movie is that it feels a bit rushed in a lot of areas. Like
Hmm.
that's why I think they had so many like star-studded like cameos. Don't get me wrong, the cameos are great, so we can touch upon them. So obviously, the one that no one ever thought would ever happen in a million years that showed up was Wesley Snipes' Blade. Like nobody saw that coming. Like everybody expected that to
Hey,
never happen because, well, it's been publicly announced multiple times that him and Ryan Reynolds
they hate
hated
each
each
other.
other, especially on Blade Trinity. So you didn't expect, him to show up. Obviously, they touch upon that with the minute Deadpool sees him, and he's like, "Well, you never liked me anyway." Which, yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny. But at the same time, it comes across a bit bitchy sometimes. It's one of those things
yeah.
that it's funny, but it's a bit bitchy, and I'm like, okay,
But
okay,
they
I
but they
get where they're
buried the
going.
hatchet. That's what Wesley Snipes said. They said like Ryan reached out to me and like he talked to me and he just said like, yo man, like hey, I'm sorry if I ever offended you, and like and then Wesley Snipes said like, you know what man, that's my bad. Like I was the star at that time. You were young. I treated you badly. Do you accept my apology? And they talked it out or whatever. And
Yeah,
like now Ryan Reynolds even said like he wants to do the Blade movie or whatever, like a old man Blade, which everybody wants. Sorry,
mhm.
Mahershala Ali, like your movie ain't coming out, dog. Like people want to see that Wesley Snipes Blade movie, which I will be there on day 1 if it happens. So like
Yeah, see,
I don't think it's gonna
I
happen. Yeah,
give Marshall Lee his due. He is trying to make sure that Blade is very good. The one thing that I just like for me, it was one of the best cameos because no one expected that. No one thought Wesley Snipes would be
yeah,
in the movie. If anything, something like Chris Evans, for example, everybody sort of knew there might have been a cameo,
yeah,
could have been there. Obviously, they done the bait and switch, but if you were smart enough, I saw that coming a mile away. Of course, if they're going to have Chris Evans, then they're going
yeah,
to have Captain America once he's just left. And obviously, the way
yeah,
I liked like the first Fantastic Four movie isn't good by any means, but I enjoyed it enough. So it was a nice wee
yeah,
callback to the original MCU, if you would like to call it that, with Blade and
yeah,
hell, they even brought back fucking Elektra of all people. No one expect
yeah,
like to me, like that movie flopped hard, and obviously she was in Daredevil. So yeah,
yeah.
they could have brought Ben
She
Affleck
made a
in. That'd have
pop
been
shot. She
funny.
made a pop shot at Daredevil. Like
Yeah,
she said,
that's what I'm
like
saying. That would have been funny.
Daredevil died. Well, that's okay, but because you know
Yeah,
that they
that's
were
what I'm
married in
saying.
real
It's
life.
like is what it is. Obviously, the one thing that threw everybody off and it made everybody's like favorite version of this character is that obviously we got Channing Tatum as fucking Gambit of all
Gambit.
people. Like, don't get me wrong, it's hilarious, and he done a really great job on it. But you know it was just for comedic effect, because why the fuck is he
Yeah.
there?
Okay, I know this is gonna come out of being a hater or whatever, but like, I think him. I could see why they did not want to do the Gambit movie, like,
Yeah.
because Tanny Tatum, you're cool, whatever. You just talked in a bad Louisiana accent. Like a lot of people from Louisiana was offended at Tanny Tatum's like stuff.
Yeah, no.
So
See,
like,
this is one of the things I find funny about this movie. It's like it was filled with stuff that nothing people wouldn't expect, but some of it was good, some of it was funny, so funny that it was bad that it was good. And then that's what I'm saying. The plot left a lot to be desired if you actually pay attention to the plot. Like, don't get me wrong, is it cool? You know, we see all the multiple Deadpools and, you know, we see Baby Pool and all that stuff. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. But, like, I know it's supposed to be his final outing sort of thing, or you never know. Knowing Marvel, they'll probably bring him back for another 6 sequels. But my issue when it comes to that sort of stuff is like, if you go out with a bang like that, what are you meant to follow up with? It's the same when I hear about things like John Wick 5. I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? If you've seen John Wick 4, you know the ending.
yeah,
That would be a great resolution, a great ending to the story. But they're like, no, we need to keep milking it because it's only franchises that are making money. Because let's be real, they brought this out at the right time because everything else has been failing recently. Like, as much as you can be like, I'm a Marvel fanboy, like, most of their shows are failing. Most of the
they're not
movies,
good.
popularity, you know,
It's not good.
it's it's simple.
It's not
It's
good.
lost its magic because it's now starting to cater towards more, well, as you would say, inclusive. But to me, it's not being any more inclusive than it used to be. Like, think about it. We had Wesley Snipes' Blade. You know, like, you can always argue about these things in pop culture and shows. But my biggest issue is that the minute you start bringing in time travel, you start bringing in, oh, look, this is representation, or you have
Multiverses.
scene in a movie like girl power. It's like, what's the need? Like, if you want that scene, cool, but don't make it so blatantly obvious and have them say it's okay, a team of girls can handle this, because you've done it twice. You've done it
And
twice.
it failed twice. And it failed twice.
Exactly. And it's like, I get why you're doing it. I know it's sort of like, yeah, girls can rule too, but like, you're missing the mark completely with this. It's like you can have a
That's
badass
the thing.
female character without them
Yeah.
having to be like, I'm a man. Like, no, like, be
I
you.
mean,
Use
for
intelligence. Use
badass female characters like X-23, she did good or whatever. Like freaking Wolverine's surrogate daughter, like she was good in the movie. Like she was awesome or whatever, and like she was the one that gave Logan a good kick in the ass of like, dude, you're Wolverine. Like I believe in you, and you can do this or whatever. Which
yeah,
brings me to my point of what did you think about Wolverine's ambitions? What do you think about that? Because I think it was like whatever.
see, for me, like, I get what they were trying to do. They didn't want to have, like, you know, the OG classic Wolverine that's badass and is able to take out everybody. But the whole limp dick whiskey clause sling, it was funny, but at the same time, it's like, I get they're trying to like make it like he's a broken man, he failed his team, all this shit. But it's just plot coherency. It's not like, for me, it's not needed for the story. They just added it to make it a bit more convoluted, to add a bit more. It was more just like it was there for story purposes more than actual a
Yeah,
purpose. Because yeah, is it funny watching him and Deadpool fight? Is it funny watching Deadpool trying to jump on his back and him getting like saying "get the fuck off"? Basically, yeah, of course it
yeah,
is. You know, him being an alcoholic the entire movie. It's sort of what they've done with Thor. Just instead of being funny depressed, he was just actually an asshole depressed.
depressed. Yeah,
So it's like,
I I I mean, for me, I think Wolverine's ambitions was kind of like because they didn't prove why he was the worst Wolverine because he still acted like Wolverine. So it just was like it's all because he got drunk one night and the X-Men died. Like the Sentinels killed the X-Men. Spoiler alert or whatever. But I think that was kind of late. I think it was a little lazy. However, I don't know if you agree with me on that or whatever. I thought there was going to be a more of a deeper meaning.
For me, I just see it as one of these things that they put in there for a movie plot sort of thing. It was like, how can we
Yeah,
have Deadpool from another universe make sense in this universe? Right, we're just going to go with
yeah,
this because it's an easy option sort of thing. And like, you know what I find funny? I'm going to send this video to TCK because the minute I mention that Thor comment, I know fine away who he's going to be like, oh shit, they're right. Because think about it, like it's
hmm
just drunken Thor, but drunken Wolverine, and he still acts like Wolverine. He's just depressed for the reasons like
yeah,
he went and got drunk, and it's such a lazy way for it to happen as well. It's like Wolverine,
yeah.
even his character drinks a lot. Like one of the main things of his character is he drinks. So getting too drunk wouldn't stop him from saving the X Men if it was some.
Yeah, that, yeah.
It's some. It's like if something like
Wolverine would not be drunk. I mean, Wolverine being like drunk would not stop him from saving his friends. Yeah, that's just a lazy excuse, man. Like I just, and then the
like,
meaning of the suit,
it's
it's like,
like
oh, I only put it
Weapon
on
X
because it
came
made
back
me,
or something.
yeah,
Weapon X
yeah,
imprisoned him in a cell he couldn't get out of, and whilst he was in
yeah,
that cell, the X Men got killed, and then that's when Weapon X was like, "Oh shit, what have we done?" They let him go, but he was a destroyed man because he couldn't get out. He felt like a failure. That makes more sense story wise. Going out and
yeah.
getting drunk and then falling over, and then all of a sudden all your friends get killed. It's like.
And then you're just killing people for no reason. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. However, like I mean, it just felt like they just said like, okay, we know that Wolverine is a sensitive character for a lot of people. If we don't get this right or whatever, then they're gonna like criticize us even more or whatever. Me personally, like I think they just did enough to where like they don't get criticized as much or whatever. In
Mm,
my opinion, I still think that Kevin Feige is not doing a good job in the MCU. Like, so allegedly, allegedly, if this is true, like he got rid of all the people that are quote unquote woke in the company. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe all that, but like like when the next couple of movies come out, we'll see or whatever. But to me, like I still don't think Kevin Feige is doing a good job in the MCU. But you know, if did do what he said he was going to do, then good on him or whatever. That's how I feel. Yeah,
See, for me, it's not even the political stuff that bothers me as much. It's just shitty, lazy storytelling that is clearly getting
yeah,
written by Chat GBT or some sort of AI writing algorithm. Because, like, when it comes down to storytelling at the minute, I'm not enjoying anything. Like, it's so
yeah,
bizarre to be a fan of pop culture and not be able to enjoy anything new. I'm going back and watching
hmm
shows 2018, 2019 that are really good, but or like movies, but when it comes to newer, especially Marvel stuff, I couldn't give two craps what's happening anymore. I don't care who
yeah,
Agatha is. I don't care about her show. I don't care about whatever's coming up next. Obviously, when X Men finally drops, I'll probably watch that just to see if they can get it right. When they
yeah.
do Fantastic Four, I'll give it a watch.
I'm
I'm
not
not
watching Fantastic. Okay, okay. I'm just say this. I'll watch Fantastic Four, but it ain't the way that y'all guys will want me to watch it. I'll just say like,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch it, but
It's just one of these things. It's like this movie is good. Don't get us wrong. We're not
yeah,
just pointlessly or blatantly hating on the movie. It's not like we're just saying it's shit because well, we're a bunch of edgelords and we think it's shit. No, it's just I'm trying to look at it from a more critical, analytical point, right? Where a
yeah,
lot of the issues within this movie, it's like when I was watching it myself, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did with the first two.
yeah,
It's one of these things that it could have been done a bit better. Obviously, they automatically the first thing they do in this movie as well is go, we can't say a certain bigger uh sugar thing. But you can't say anything
yeah.
related to this now, and Marvel's got strict rules, and yeah, obviously it stays true to the character of Deadpool,
Well,
breaking
that's
the
what I'm
fourth.
saying. It's the water. That's the water pistol thing that I'm talking about. That's the only time that they made fun of like Marvel. MCU, but like when it came to the Fox universe, they were like shooting it with a 12 gauge shotgun or whatever.
Mhm.
And then once again, you assassinated Deadpool's character of making him a Marvel fanboy or whatever. Where like in the first two movies, he couldn't stand team ups. He hated the fact that the X-Men were goody two shoes or whatever. Look, once again, now what it could have been better is like if the Avengers wanted to recruit Deadpool, and Deadpool is like, nah, I'm good, I don't need you guys or whatever. And in the later part of the movie, he wants to. I mean, he ends up joining the Avengers team or whatever. But
Mhm.
like him, like begging what's his name for uh oh boy, Tony's driver, can't think of his name or whatever. But he was basically saying like, yeah, man, I always wanted to be an Avenger. I'm like, yeah, he was telling Happy, I always wanted to be an Avenger. I was like, oh boy. Luckily,
Yeah, it
like
doesn't make sense why he wouldn't want to be with the X-Men, but he would want to be with them. I get why they've done it. Like, don't get me wrong, it makes sense in a sense, you could say. But for me, it's just one of these things that I just don't think I like too much about the storyline.
yeah,
But overall, let's just get to the nitty gritty of it. To me, I think it's like if I'm rating it on a fun movie, just a good movie to watch with friends, it's a solid 8. But or as everybody likes to say, 8 out of 10. Ha ha ha. But
yeah,
when it comes to like an overall plot movie for me, if it comes down to the storytelling, I would give it a 6. Like it's a 6 on plot based, but if it's like on the fun aspect, the team ups, the cameos, all that amazing stuff, then I would give it an 8 out of 10. How about yourself?
that's the same thing. Like eight for the like popcorn flick blockbuster. This is one of the movies that you go one of those movies that you it's a phenomenon movie. Like it's a phenomenon movie, and like it did what it was supposed to do. It's a $1 billion movie, so it did what it was supposed to do. But as far as like you said, plot, if I wanted to like grade this movie, like if I was being fair to any other, like if did not had Deadpool on it, I give it a 6 or whatever, like 6 out of 10. I think the first Deadpool movie is like the best one out of the whole entire trilogy. I think
Mhm.
Deadpool 1 is a 9 out of 10 with a 9 out of 10 plot or whatever. Like it was straight, it was simple. Like you grew to love Deadpool in that movie. In this
Yeah.
movie, it's more of like, hey, look, we got Hugh Jackman. Hey, look, we got Wesley Snipes. Look, we got Jennifer Love Hewitt. Look, we got Channing Tatum. Like, you guys like these guys? You like these guys, right? Right? Just buy the movie, and then like we can like put all this money towards Secret Wars. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Before rounding off the video, that's one thing I'm also going to point out in this video. I do not care about Secret Wars anymore. Everybody's going to go, wait, what? You're nuts. No,
I was the
I
same.
don't.
I'm still the same way because I've been saying the same thing when I met you. I was like, I don't really care about Secret Wars. Like, I mean,
I've
I'll
got to
go
the point
watch it.
now. It's the same. Like it's sad. I'm gonna say this. It's the same with Cobra Kai. People ruin the show for me now because I can't watch it without having 6 other people, 10,000 other people bitch and fight about who's better here and who should be winning this and who should be doing that. Or this plot is clearly good and it's like, it's really not though. I've got to the point now where it comes to these movies and shows, especially when it comes to Marvel or anything. Cobra Kai, I'm hoping it's going to end on a good note. And then after that, I don't think I'll be watching pop culture all too often. We can go back and do old stuff, or we can review the really batshit crazy stuff that shouldn't be happening, like how we do need to do one thing, and that is probably what we should do next because it is more of a newer thing, if you catch my hint. So, what
Yeah.
I would say is the post credit scene for this one is going to be Gotham City, but not Gotham City, and a bit strange of a weird situation. Characters that are not the characters, but are the characters, and we can have a little bit of fun on that episode.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, this has been the Dynamic Duo, and I have been Kanan Wolf, and that has been MMA King Crease Jr. And we shall see you guys in the next video.
Subscribe.